What's good? You already know where we at. We outside.
I'm on, but you want me home. I get you what you want, but you want me.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Marlon. Hood. Welcome back to another episode of Marlon's World. First off, I want to thank God for another episode. I appreciate him for letting me start this. Without him, I wouldn't be here doing this with you guys. I also want to thank my fellow subscribers and the new people that's coming in. If you're new, welcome to Marlon's World. If you have been here with Marlon's World, welcome back. You know, I always got a banger. So we're finna go ahead and get into them. So, as you guys know, Derek Chover has recently been found guilty. And today I kind of want to talk about that. And I also want to talk about the case and, you know, my personal opinion on it and how I feel about it. So we're finna go ahead and get it started. So on May 25th, 2020, Minneapolis police officers arrested George Floyd, a 46-year-old black man who bought a pack of cigarettes and was, I guess the word I want to use is blamed for having counterfeit money and it was $20 bill at a convenience store called 911. And within 30 minutes of his arrest, George Floyd died after a police officer, who we all know, Derek Chover, pressed his knee against George Floyd's neck for approximately 8 minutes and 46 seconds. And within that time frame, George Floyd constantly told the police officers that he could not breathe and he was begging for his mother. And mind you, Derek Floyd wasn't by himself. It was three other police officers with him. So outside looking in, and also with the video footage, how do you look at that, you know? And within the next day, though, those 4 policemen were terminated. Now, as the case was being aroused and as the footage got out, an approximate estimate of 15 to 26 million Americans across the whole entire country and the U.S. and other nations, of course, had amazing protests, basically for the cause of police and criminal justice reform and to address the systemic racism and policing as well as more broadly in society. Because as you guys know, when it comes to police brutality, black males, or not even just black males, black people are getting killed more often than others. Now, what ended up happening is for almost basically a year later, not necessarily almost a year, but really a year later, on April 20th, 2021, Derek Chover was finally found guilty for second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and manslaughter, which is almost up to 40-year sentence in jail, if not maybe more. But it's still to be continued. Now, when this happened, on Twitter, this case completely just skyrocketed out the roof. And the thing is, for a lot of people, this wasn't justice. It was accountability. But I'm going to tell you why the reason it wasn't justice. So the reason it wasn't justice was because our justice for us is for us to not be killed by police for nothing. When simple things can be handled a certain way, especially when we're not harming them or we're not showing any signs of threat towards them. That's the problem we are having in this day and age. We're having a problem for some reason, policemen understanding that, we understand that your lives is on the line, but ours is too. At the end of the day, you guys are supposed to protect us. We're scared of y'all. How am I supposed to be able to come about you in an orderly fashion, how I'm supposed to, respectfully, when my fellow brothers and sisters are being killed for nothing? That's hard. That's really hard to do. It's really hard to have an understanding on that. It's hard to really process that. And a lot of people like LeBron James, like a lot of sports media, and not just sports media, a lot of people even in Minnesota, like the politicians even said a certain thing as far as like, this isn't just, this is accountability, because because the definition of accountability is for the fact or condition of being accountable, meaning everyone is responsible for their actions, behaviors, performances, and decisions. Now, when it comes to that, accountability is something that just at the end of the day, you accounted for what you did to harm someone, or you accounted for what you did in just any way, shape, or form. Now, once again, all social media, people discuss accountability because of the greater cause for police accountability, not only for Floyd, but for other colored people who lost their lives to the hands of a police officer across the country in recent years. Of course, like a lot of people might know, which is Breonna Taylor, that's another one, and so on and so forth. So it's very hard to really just, for me, I feel like it's really hard for me to just really understand a policeman's side when this has happened like constantly. Just in this year, it has been 184 black people killed. And it has been 353 people killed in the year 2021. Like something needs to happen. And then you gotta come to then it wants to come to a sense where it's like it's a policeman's job. That's a policeman's job. That's his, like, how is it your job to kill someone? How is it your job to threaten me when I have not shown any threat to you at all? Just because the color of my skin, that's a threat? Me personally, I feel like once you realize you're arresting someone and you realize they don't have no weapons, it shouldn't be no further interruption between me and you. Now, people have been saying that this was due to the fact that Gerald and Derry had an altercation a year prior to this in a nightclub. So, you know what I'm saying, that's other information. But this just, once again, it just comes to the point where when you're a policeman, understand your life is on the line. But at the end of the day, when it comes with your job, you have to understand that these are things you're gonna need to be doing. But for you to just kill me and my fellow brothers and sisters for no reason, how am I supposed? In some cases, some people don't even want to walk out the house. Some people don't even want to just go up the street to go to the corner store because they feel like they're gonna be in a George Floyd situation. Once again, prayers to his family and friends and everyone around him. But it's really hard. Like it's mentally draining for me and my fellow brothers and sisters. It's very hard for us to really understand that, because it's a repeated cycle. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know, we're getting better with it, like stuff like we're making changes, we are doing things to help us get our point across. Once again, this isn't justice, it's just accountability. But that don't mean that we're not taking one step closer every day into when stuff like this happens. And then every one of 1,000 black men are expected to be killed by policemen. There are 9.9 million black men in the USA. So every one of 1,000 men, black men, they get killed by policemen. How does that work? When you add that up over the course of a decade, that's a lot of deaths, and especially for no apparent reason. And another fact is that black Americans are 2.5 times more likely to be killed than a white person by a police officer. Like another example, I don't know the boy's name, but as you guys know, he was killed by a woman. She accidentally thought her taser was a gun. I don't know. Once again, I don't know how you just accidentally do that. Once again, this is your job. You have to understand that at the end of the day, you are with the law, and in some cases you have a right to do certain things, but then it's an understanding of just having a human thought, a human mindset of understanding, like, okay, for example, George Floyd situation. That police officer had his knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Do y'all need to be on his neck for that long after he's constantly telling you can't breathe? Why? What's the purpose? It don't need to be on there for that long. And then the thing is, people get mad at us for rioting and doing the things we do. Don't get me wrong, I don't like rioting, But it felt like that's the only way we can get our point across. Because if we don't do that, now y'all still gonna continue doing what y'all doing. So now we gotta do certain things as far as the famous people. Like, what I do appreciate is like LeBron James in the NBA, they canceled a lot of games due to the fact of police brutality to our black Afro Americans. Like, I like something like that. The WNBA did that. You know what I'm saying? I like certain things like that because it's getting our point across. It's letting them, the people across the world, know that this is something very, disturbing. And once again, I also believe that until all lives matter, black lives have to matter too. We're all equal. We're all the same. We're all one family at the end of the day. I'm no different from a lot of people. Only thing the different is us is our skin tone. But why does that have to make me be less of a person than another color, like a white person, a Hispanic person, just any other color? It don't make me no less different from you. So that's my personal feeling on it. I just feel like that we need to come to an understanding that we need to make changes in what we do and how we do it as far as when it comes to the police brutality, because obviously we are, I feel like at the end of the day we're doing an amazing job, but we need to do more. I feel like we need to do better in certain things, as far as even if it's on Instagram. What we do a lot of is when we found out certain things, we repost it. So then what that does is when we repost it, we get other people to realize what's going on. That's why I love when LeBron James and so many people, the higher power people who have a big voice, speak about certain things, because when they get into it, when they get involved into what's going on, now we got the whole world looking about it. That's why, once again, I respect LeBron James, because he don't, man, no matter what, he's going to say what needs to be said. Not how he feel, maybe like, okay, even though I might lose a couple money here, like at the end of the day, he doing what's right for his people, and I do respect him for that. I hope you watching, LeBron James. I hope you watching this. I'll give you a lot of shout outs, bro. But in a respectful way. Like I really do appreciate you for what you've done for, our race and our community, and how we just trying to better ourselves. But like I said, it's hard to really just be so, like, how can I, the word I'm looking for is more so just like, how can I be so calm when I'm getting pulled over by a police officer, when just the other day, or maybe less than a year ago, someone has died just by reaching for their insurance out of their glove compartment, and the cop thought it was a gun. So certain things like that, you gotta take. So now you gotta take certain things into consideration as you go about your daily life. Because now it's to the point where if I drive and I see a police officer, I don't even want it to be behind me. I might end up pulling somewhere close and then just stopping up for a second and realizing I'm gonna wait 5 minutes till the police officer like really out the way, and then I'm gonna get back to driving. Because I know some of y'all do that. Because it's just a scare. You just don't want to get pulled over, because when you get pulled over, you don't know what's going to happen. You're so frightened by what could happen based off of facts and things that have been going on in this world. So it's really hard to just, really just be calm about certain situations. And it really frustrates me. But once again, I'm Marlon. Welcome to Marlon's World. I'm glad you guys came here and listened to me about how I felt about, the whole George Floyd situation, and how we're doing in our black community as far as handling things and what we are doing better. So once again, like, comment, and subscribe. Peace and love.
I get you what you want.